a water polo match. If the player A throws the ball to player B, and who then throws it to player C, how far did player A throw the ball, and how far did player B throw the ball? And wait, how far would player A have thrown the ball if he had thrown it directly to player C? Stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Math Mastery. Today we will learn how to find the distance between 2 points through the distance formula. So let's get started. The distance formula is d is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This is the formula. Let's take an example. Find the distance between the 2 points 5, 2 and 8, 6. We know that 5, 2 is the first point and 8, 6 is the second point. So x1 is 5 and x2 is 8, y1 is 2, y2 is 6, and we have the formula. So we will substitute x and y for their values. So instead of writing down x2 minus x1, we will write down 8 minus 5 squared plus y2 minus y1, which is 6 minus 2 squared. And you can do the math. 8 minus 5 is 3 and 6 minus 2 is 4. So it will be the square root of 9 plus 16. And 9 plus 16 is 25. So the square root of 25 is 5 units. So the distance between the 2 points is 5. Find the value of a if the distance between the 2 points -2, 3 and a, 7 equals 5. As you know, the first point is -2, 3 and the second point is a, 7. x1 is equal to -2, x2 is a, y1 is 3, y2 is 7. And you have the distance formula. Now x2 minus x1 will be a minus -2 and y2 minus 1 will be 7 minus 3, and a minus -2 will be a plus 2, and 7 minus 3 is 4, and 4 to the power 2 is 16. Now we need to get rid of the square root. How can you get rid of the square root? Of course, by squaring the both sides. The both sides will be 5 to the power 2 is equal to the square root of a plus 2 squared plus 16 all to the power 2. Because the power and the root will cancel each other out. So the right hand side will be a plus 2 squared plus 16, and the left hand side will be 5 to the power 2, which is 25. Now you want to expand the parentheses, which is a plus 2 squared. You can multiply the parentheses by itself, or you can multiply the first term by itself and the second term by itself, and don't forget to multiply the first term by the second term by 2. So it will be a to the power 2, and the first term by the second term by 2 will be 4a, and 2 times 2 is 4, and don't forget plus 16. Now you have like terms. 4 plus 16 is 20, so it will be 25 is equal to a squared plus 4a plus 20, and a squared plus 4a are unlike terms, so you can't add them, so you will keep them. And because you have a quadratic equation, so you can factor it. But before factoring, you can subtract 25 from the both sides. So a squared plus 4a plus 20 minus 25 is equal to 25 minus 25, which is 0. And 20 minus 25 is -5. By factoring the left-hand side, a squared plus 4a minus 5, and you will look for two numbers whose product is negative 5 and their sum is 4. Of course, they are negative 1 and 5. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5, and negative 1 plus 5 is 4. So the first factor is a minus 1, and the second factor is a plus 5. If that point is not clear, let me know in the comments below and I will try to explain again. Now let's deal with the first factor, which is a minus 1 is equal to 0, so a is equal to 1. And the second factor, a plus 5 is equal to 0, so a is equal to negative 5. Now we have the values of a is equal to 1 or a is equal to negative 5. Let's take a different example. Prove that the triangle whose vertices are the points a 5, negative 5, b negative 1, 7, c 15, 15 is right angle in B. Now let's imagine the triangle and their vertices. A is 5, negative 5, B is negative 1, 7, and C 15, 15. By the way, you can prove that by getting the slope of AB and the slope of BC. And if their product is equal to negative 1, that means AB is perpendicular to BC, and that means B is right angle. But now we will use the distance formula. And comparing that to Pythagorean Theorem, which is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. And here it will be ac squared is equal to ab squared plus bc squared. So let's get started with the distance of AB. AB is equal to, according to the distance formula, is equal to the square root of negative 1 minus 5 squared plus 7 minus negative 5, which is 7 plus 5 squared. And now negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. You can just do the math. And 7 plus 5 is 12, so it will be the square root of 180. But according to Pythagorean Theorem, we have to square the both sides. So it will be AB squared is equal to 180. Now let's get the distance between the other side, BC. BC is equal to the square root of 15 minus negative 1, which is 15 plus 1 squared, plus 15 minus 7 squared. The difference in x squared plus the difference in y squared. And give the answer. BC is equal to the square root of 16 squared plus 8 squared, which is the square root of 320. And by squaring the both sides, it will be BC squared is equal to 320. And finally, let's get the distance between A and C. So AC is equal to the square root of 15 minus 5 squared plus 15 minus negative 5, which is 15 plus 5 squared. So it will be the square root of 10 squared plus 20 squared. It will be the square root of 500. By squaring the both sides, AC squared is equal to 500. Add the small numbers, which is 180 plus 264. So it will be 500. 180 is AB squared and 264 is BC squared and 500 is AC squared. And that is the Pythagorean theorem. So that means AC is a hypotenuse, so B is a right angle. If you have a question, don't forget to put it in the comments below. See you next time.